gentlemen, this is Sportsballin, your home for all things sports. My name is Ethan Markham, and tonight I'm joined by Connor Smith and Jace Vincent. Guys, you ready to talk some ball?
Dude, I'm so ready for this, talking sports with my guys. Let's get to it.
Absolutely. Ready to get going every night with you guys.
We'll go ahead and jump right on into the action. Hockey, Saturday night, as part of the Four Nations face-off, the United States clashed with Canada on the ice. The Canadian fans actually booed the Star-Spangled Anthem, and the U.S. responded by starting 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. They'd go on to win 3-1. Guys, what are your thoughts on this game, along with the prospect of the USA playing against Canada in Boston Thursday night for the championship?
Man, it's going to be exciting. Like you said, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. Shouldn't have booed the anthem, but the U.S. won in the fights and in the game, because Connor McDavid started scoring off fairly early, 5 minutes in, and then from then on out, it was U.S. 3-0.
And I think that all around NHL All-Star Week, it blows any of the other major pro sports out of the water. You can even put MLB in there, and that's good. But NHL has blown it out of the water. You couldn't even tell that NBA had an All-Star Week this week.
No.
And I think that to grow the game of hockey more in the United States, the NHL needs to continue this format moving forward, with bordering countries, USA and Canada, and then Finland and Sweden, all bordering each other, building rivalries within the fans and the teams that all play together. And I think that just continue to grow the game of hockey for that next young generation. This is really what they need to keep going for the NHL to grow.
Absolutely, and you mentioned don't boo the anthem, right?
No,
that was a very sore spot, and I'm right there with them. But they're going to be playing again in Boston, one of the few cities I would ever want to play against after doing something like that.
Boston's a very dangerous place. I know from personal experience, I interned up in Massachusetts this summer. Not a place you want to go to, especially if you don't like America.
I mean, I'll be in Boston for the first time this summer interning it also. But yeah, Boston is going to be patriotic as you could ever ask for there. America. Free Bird's going to be blasting throughout the arena, and America is going to take it home. America over Canada, and Eagles over Geese, and Star-Spangled Banner over Maple Leafs.
Absolutely, and you know, we're all talking about the anthem, right? Because obviously as Americans, that's something that we're not really happy about. But the game itself was great too. Team USA got off to an early lead and just never looked back. You
know, like you said, it was a good game all the way through. I think it really showed the competitiveness for their sport, because you see, like he was saying, the NBA has a little washed-up competition where I didn't even watch it, but I turned it on for 1 second, and it was like the G League versus Team C. What is that? And then for the Pro Bowl with NFL, you're playing flag football. Are you serious? And hockey's out here starting fights 9 seconds in because they're that passionate and competitive about the sport they play. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, having an actual game within your sport and bringing in some rivalries. You have some of the best players in the league that actually have passion for the game and want to try to build an audience. I think that's really what hockey is doing great right now in their All-Star break versus what the NBA, NFL are really doing that can bring more of an audience that may not be familiar with hockey, that can track them to that even during an All-Star break.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially when you look at the NBA All-Star Weekend, you see things like Wemby and Chris Paul in the skills challenge, not even taking shots, just flipping the ball,
just throwing the,
just not really putting forth a lot of effort. But as we look towards East Tennessee, this past Saturday featured another classic SEC battle between in-state rivals. The Vanderbilt Commodores led by as much as 18 points against the number 5 ranked Tennessee Volunteers, but a dominant second half from the Volunteers would lead them to a victory. Guys, what are the takeaways from this wild game?
You know, I think like we were saying last week, college basketball is so deep this year that anyone can get got on any given day, even the Vols. And Tennessee on the road, if this was in Nashville, you'd say, okay, I get it. But considering it's in Knoxville, where they have their superpowers, where they get the calls, and it was close, and they were down by 20 points at one point, it really shocked me. I turned on the game thinking it was going to be like the other way around, and I was like, whoa, why is Vandy up by 18 points?
I wouldn't say that Tennessee's getting the calls, but
not that game, but overall,
so they were down 16 in the first half. Most Tennessee fans were just writing them out. But then in comes the guy Ziegler. He scores 22 in the second half. Tennessee comes back. They outscored Vandy 50-32 in the second half. I didn't even know Tennessee was capable of scoring 50 points in a half.
in the game.
That's because they did it at home. If they were on the road, they've never been able to do that. That'll factor in later when we talk. But Tennessee at home, they were able to get done. Ziegler and Lanier combining 22 and 21 for those two. I think really the piece for Tennessee was Igor Milicic. He was that spark plug towards the end of the first half, getting that block that led to a basket from Lanier at the buzzer. And then really leading, he only had 10 points for the whole game. But you could just tell him and Ziegler, they were really the spark plug. That something was set at halftime from Rick Barnes and that squad really to get them tuned in. One, for a rivalry, because you could tell in the first half they looked like they didn't want to even be there. But they really just came back in the second half. They played one half and still ended up winning against a good Vandy team.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you're going to need those guys to really be locked in as we get closer and closer to March and the SEC tournament. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got MLB spring training and some crazy news surrounding the college football playoff.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we gonna do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
There's a threat targeting America, one that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see: Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin, this dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
It's February, which means it's almost time for MLB spring training. Spring training will start on Thursday with the defending champions, the LA Dodgers, taking on the Chicago Cubs. Guys, what are you looking for in this game, along with any other teams to watch throughout spring training?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what the Dodgers are, and then even in the offseason, they brought in pieces like Kirby Yates, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, and others. The Cubs had one of the worst bullpens in baseball last year. They bolstered that, trading for Eli Morgan, alongside getting Ryan Presley, and then the big trade this offseason, getting Kyle Tucker from the Astros. As a Cubs fan myself, I want to see improvement. You're probably not going to beat the Dodgers just because of how star-powered they are, but if you can show me that the bullpen's improved, and I can see Kyle Tucker in that beautiful pinstripe uniform, that's what I'm looking for.
And I think I'm a little bit intrigued with the Dodgers. They bring in another great young piece, mentioned Roki Sasaki. I think it's another great piece that they can add. Just they have unlimited money in Los Angeles, it seems like. I don't know how. They bring back Clayton Kershaw, as you mentioned. Kirby Yates. I liked him I'm a Rangers fan, so I liked him. He was an extra arm we had there. But now pretty much most of those World Series arms, except Jacob deGrom, who didn't even play, are just gone. So, I mean, really looking at spring training, I think it's going to be a fun season looking ahead. Really, we have the Braves who are getting a few good pieces. The Cubs, you mentioned, to see if they can improve their bullpen. And even the Dodgers, who are digging up money out of the desert, it seems like, somehow, to have every single young piece that's good.
Absolutely. They're adding anyone and everyone. But other than the Dodgers, right, who we know defending champs, absolutely stacked roster, are there any other teams that you guys are looking at right now and saying, okay, let's keep an eye on them throughout this whole spring?
The entire NL East, bro, because everyone knows what the Atlanta Braves are. They went out and got Jerks and Profar to help bolster the lineup. The Mets have several pieces that that are World Series level. Getting Juan Soto is a big time piece because that lineup, like I was saying, has some guys in there that are World Series caliber, but they're missing that superstar outfielder. They got him in Juan Soto.
And I think really It could be the Mets here, but I'm not going to be ready to say the Mets, but
Phillies.
we'll see how it goes. It could be Phillies. I agree with you. That entire NL East is going to be fun to watch for all 162 games.
The College Football Playoff Committee is about to lose a lot of power as the SEC and Big Ten have reached an agreement that starting in 2026 will give both conferences 4 automatic bids, along with a say in who gets in and who doesn't. Guys, do y'all really think this is good for college football?
Absolutely not. I mean, I do think as an SEC homer myself that the SEC should get the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that. But getting all these automatic bids, the rumor is up to 4 at this point. And then also getting a say on how it's formatted, how many teams are in there. Right now they're looking at 14 to 16, and like I said, the possible 4 teams per conference. That's not good for college football or college sports in general to be a dictator over this instead of just like letting the games play out. Because if we're just going to look at the stars on your team and your roster in general, then why play the games? I mean, we play the games to see who the best team is, not who the best talented roster is.
And see, I'm going to say, not that I agree with this at all. I don't think it's college football should be like an NFL format of 2 major power conferences. But I don't think that it's like groundbreaking. Like if you get what I'm saying, like it's not like groundbreaking information to know that the SEC and Big Ten are 2 power conferences that want to take over college football at all. I just think it's a little bit bad for the sport. I don't think it's ruining college football, I would say, but I don't think that, like, I'm still going to watch as a college football diehard fan, but I don't think that the SEC and Big Ten should be guaranteed 4 spots and then just leaving 2 for the ACC and Big Ten and then 1 for a group of 5 champ and 1 for Notre Dame. I just don't agree with that, but I don't think it's like ruining the sport, but I don't agree with how it should go down. I think that the committee should still decide who they think is the best 12 teams, which is decided on whoever you ask could have a different list of 12 teams.
I think it's slowly starting to ruin it. I mean, I'm a big believer we shouldn't see 3 lost teams in the playoff, and that's what's coming. We're going to see teams that weren't even close in the conference title race that are just going to be limping in.
I mean, we're
going to get more first-round blowouts.
We saw a 3-loss team in the playoffs this year with Clemson.
I wasn't big on
that's different though, of getting like an automatic bid because you won your conference, and then you just get in because you're Alabama and you got the script A.
Because they still earned it. They still earned it. They won the ACC, but if they just didn't do anything, I mean, it's hard to think that they should be in it.
No.
We'll take another break, and when we return, we've got our hot takes of the week.
Millions of Americans
have hepatitis C, but many
don't know it.
People born from 1945
to 1965 are 5 times more
likely to have hepatitis C. People can live for
decades without symptoms. Left untreated,
Hepatitis C can lead to liver cancer.
but treatments are now available that can
Cure hepatitis C.
Talk to your doctor about getting tested.
We got
Tested.
it could save your life.
It's time for our hot takes of the week, and Jace, we'll start with you.
Well, my hot take that I'm going to start it off with first is going to be out in Manhattan, Kansas. The Kansas State Wildcats, they're going to make the NCAA tournament. That's my hot take. Right now, they're sitting at 13-12. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They are coming off of a loss at BYU, 80-65. But in that stretch where they have gotten 4 out of their last 5, they've beaten teams like Iowa State on the road. They beat Kansas at home. I know Kansas isn't very good. But then you look at their last stretch of games that they had the rest of the way. They play Utah tonight, who's 14-11. Play Arizona State, 12-13. At UCF, 13-12. Colorado at home, 10-15. At Cincinnati, who's 15-10. Then Iowa State at home is 20-5, who they already beat 80-61 in Ames. So I think that Jerome Tang and Kansas State, they'll be back in March Madness.
No. Do you understand what it would take for them to get in? Like, it would take an NC State level of run in the Big 12
Big 12 is
tournament.
crazy.
Do you want to bank on that?
I'm willing to bank on it. I believe in.
We might
I
have to
faith.
bookmark this one then. We might have to bookmark this.
I
one if
don't
you're
think
willing
so.
to bank on it.
I don't think, because like I was saying, it would take an NC State run in the tournament. How often does that happen?
Who's your DJ Burns on this team if they're going to make this run?
Coleman Hawkins, who they
Ooh.
paid $2 million for.
Who?
The guy from Illinois that transferred there.
You're not helping me.
He was good at Illinois, and he's good at Kansas State right now. I'm trusting in the Wildcats. They'll make some sort of run. They'll get enough wins, I think, to be a play-in team, like a 12 or 11 seed.
I think they could be a play-in team.
That's what I'm
Play
saying.
in, sure.
They'll
but
be in
not like
Dayton.
just.
They'll be in Dayton.
I don't know if I could just say that they're just going to be right there.
That's just, I'm going to ride it out with it.
You're going to ride it out with it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Connor, let's get to yours.
I think the NFL GOAT debate is finished. Slam the door shut. After Super Bowl 59, where Patrick Mahomes did not look good whatsoever, he's now been blown out twice in the big game. Tom Brady would never. All right? I don't really care about the personal stats are great. Awards, yardage, all that good stuff. It's awesome. And even if he passes Brady, I still don't think you can say that he's the GOAT, because the greatest of all time in Tom Brady put his team in a position to win in big games like this. You look at even the 3 games that Tom Brady lost, he still put up over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, and had a 96.3 QB rating, when Mahomes in his 2 losses has gotten smoked and not played good whatsoever. I think it's over.
I can agree with your hot take, but I'm going to say, I mean, they have the same record through 5 Super Bowls, but Mahomes is doing it at a younger age. If I'm going to play the side of Mahomes, and I can see, I don't think it's shut down, because what if Kansas City goes and wins a couple more Super Bowls and he has 5, so then you have
Then he would still have 2 less than Tom Brady.
I agree, but he hasn't played as long as Tom Brady. He's doing it at a younger age. I think Tom Brady's the GOAT, undisputed, but I'm saying you can have an argument in the future of if Mahomes wins more Super Bowls.
Absolutely not.
That there would be the
Even
case.
if he's doing it at a young age, though, I mean, Brady went 10 years without a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He went 10 years without winning a ring, but the thing is,
There's no guarantee that Mahomes is going to go on a run.
It took a literal miracle with the helmet catch and one of the greatest defenses that we've ever seen in Philly for Brady to lose Super Bowls. I don't know. And like you mentioned, Brady's never been blown out in the Super Bowl. Every game was close. You always knew they had a chance, whereas Mahomes, it's twice now. And one of them being to Brady.
Yes.
So if you're going by head-to-head, I mean.
But that Tampa Bay team was just like a super team.
He's still never beat Brady, whether Brady was on the Bucs or the Patriots. He's 0-2, 0-3 against Brady.
We'll go ahead and get to my hot take. And my hot take, I know Connor isn't really big on this one, is that with the acquisition of Jimmy Butler, the Golden State Warriors are back to being contenders.
It's my first time hearing this.
It's your first time hearing this? Look, Jimmy brings a lot of things. He's contributing on offense. He's averaging over 20 points a game since joining the Warriors, 7 rebounds, right? So he's contributing at all facets. He's a great defender. Yeah, he's 35. He's a little bit older. But you need someone that will just get in there and play a gritty part of the game, and that's what Jimmy Butler does for the Warriors.
I don't think it's going to happen, because, yeah, Jimmy's a great player. Awesome, like borderline Hall of Famer, that Hall of Good level, and he's got some good surrounding pieces. But Curry and Draymond, they're too old, man. I don't think a nursing home team's gonna
Draymond
win.
is definitely too old.
I say Curry, I wouldn't say Curry's too old. He's still averaging 30 over the last over 5 games.
Yeah, because he's having to carry his team because no one else on that roster outside of Jimmy are able to do anything.
That's why they got Jimmy, right?
And it's still
now
not gonna
you've
help.
got 2 that are gonna figure it out. Look, it's still Curry, all right?
Yeah.
It's still Curry. Is he 2014 through 17 Curry? No, but it's still Steph Curry. I mean,
as a Steph Curry homer, I want to say yes. I just, like I said, I don't think a nursing home team is going to be able to win it all, man. I don't.
I just think that in the West, I think they have too much to deal with Denver and
Lakers.
Oklahoma City. The Lakers, I think they're about on par with Golden State, maybe a little bit better. But
I don't think the Lakers are going to be that good anyway. I don't
either, but they got star power, so they might.
They got star power, but I don't think they're going to mesh well. I think that Jimmy Butler really does give them a chance if he can just stay focused in and not,
worry about his
not
coffee
do as
shop.
usual.
Worry about his coffee shop, man.
Yeah, that's the thing I'd be a little bit worried about. We'll be back here in a moment where we'll have our favorite segment. Stick around for Connor's question of the week.
Miss Lee, this is Agent Williams from the tax office. Our records show an unpaid balance on your account. If you don't pay by end of day, you'll be facing jail time. Well, the fastest way to fix this is with a prepaid debit card. Can you go get one now? Yes, and we want to clear this up. If you just buy that prepaid card, put $400 on it, then call me back and read the numbers to me.
The moment they ask for a prepaid card is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamowareness.org.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so bad to the point where he had to end up in the emergency room. And he has spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy to tell people not to smoke around your kids.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
I was trying to fix all the things that were going on. Ryan's daydreaming, an inability to focus.
It was just frustrating to get my mom to understand what I was going through.
So that's when we talked to a doctor, and she was diagnosed with ADHD. It just explained so many things for us.
Hyperactivity isn't the only symptom of ADHD. Inattentive symptoms like Ryan's can be less noticeable. Learn more. Get the ADHD symptom checklist at keepmomming.com. Then talk with your daughter's doctor.
Keep momming.
It's time for our favorite segment, Connor's question of the week. Connor, what do we got this week?
Thanks, Ethan. This week we have, if SpongeBob trained under Coach Deion Sanders' primetime, could he make it to the NFL? Now, SpongeBob, he's a really weak person. He can only bench press 2 marshmallows. But Deion Sanders is one of the best to ever do it. Best cornerback of all time. I think we can both agree on that. I think he could do it, honestly. But what do you guys think?
I think SpongeBob would easily be the next Travis Hunter. I mean, there's no other way to look at this. You got to understand he's a very versatile guy in general, right? He's a fry cook. He's a great jellyfisher, right? He's a versatile athlete. He's got a lot of things to him, all right? So I think he would be great under Coach Prime. I think he could cover. I think he could play every position on the field because he could expand too, So if you need to move him to tight end, right?
The entire offensive line, bro.
Dude, yeah, you know how much money you could save, by the way, as an NFL GM if you don't have to sign. You don't need Joe Thomas and Batonio. You just need SpongeBob,
I mean, I don't even know how to even attack this question at all because, I don't know. I don't think Deion's that good of a coach, I'm going to be honest with you.
I think SpongeBob's just that good of an athlete.
I think SpongeBob can be that good of an athlete. Deion's not that good of a coach. It's just going to hold him back. Deion is carried by Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Watch Colorado this year when they have him without Shedeur and Travis Hunter. I'm going to go back to being what they were the first year they had him. 3-9, 4-8.
But he can develop cornerbacks.
So what do you think?
He can develop cornerbacks.
Colorado's record would be with SpongeBob.
What is
16-0 national champion.
What has SpongeBob done on the field to prove himself? He's an unproven talent.
Dude, he has so much potential.
He can expand, but what else can he do?
His only weakness is that he's got to have water.
I hope he realizes he could catch the ball.
What is he, Vince Wilfork? He's just expand?
Yes, he could.
Yes, that's exactly who he is. SpongeBob's only real weakness, okay, is that he's not going to have as much water, all right? You're going to have to keep him hydrated. Stamina's going to be rough. All right, but if you could take care of that, man.
Does he get to wear the bowl while he plays?
This could be the next Bo Jackson.
Not even that.
Greatest athlete we've ever seen.
Just think about this. Randy Moss type player, he can expand wide. He can even expand up. You just throw a 50-50 fade ball in the end zone, and he can go 10 feet in the air.
You're not comparing Randy Moss to SpongeBob.
he can expand and make those 50-50 catches like Calvin Johnson and Randy Johnson.
The only character underwater in Bikini Bottom that I've seen catch a pass was Squidward when he was an underwater football playing king in space, but that was it. Squidward is a receiver. SpongeBob is not. Maybe he can
think about Phineas on our flag team.
SpongeBob can
Unknown
reproduce by
commodity
budding,
was
so maybe
great.
he can have more of himself, but I don't know.
SpongeBob would be the next Bo Jackson, and I'm sticking with that. But that's all we've got for Connor's question. We'll see you back in a moment for everyone's picks of the week.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
We've now arrived at our final segment of the night, our picks for the week. We'll start things off with our first game, Grizzlies versus Pacers.
Memphis. I think the Grizzlies have way too much offensive firepower with Ja, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey, Devson Bain. Give me the Grizz.
Yeah, I'm agree with the same way. I like Memphis with all those pieces that you just mentioned. I just think they have more to their game than Indiana does, so I'll take Memphis.
I would have to agree with that. Memphis just has too much star power. They've been rolling this season, so it's hard to pick against them. We'll go ahead and we'll move to our next game. The number 5 or now number 6 ranked Tennessee Volunteers against the now number 7th ranked Texas A&M Aggies.
You know, I made the claim that Tennessee can't play on the road a few minutes ago, and I still believe that. I really do. However, Tennessee, they've got the better roster, they got the better coach, they have Chaz Lanier. Who doesn't love some Chaz Lanier? Give me the Vols.
Well, I'm going to take Texas A&M. I'm not picking Tennessee ever again for after last time they picked the Kentucky game. So until Tennessee wins the game on the road, I'm not picking them. A&M's going to win. Wade Taylor's going to find a way to go for like 40 points on like 25 shots. Give me A&M.
Knoxville native here. Go Vols. I think that they're going to figure it out. The thing is that Rick Barnes teams, they have these weird moments where they play against their worst games on the road, but he always finds one every season, and I think this is the one that he's going to find.
Yeah.
Move on to our next game. That's going to be the Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, the Predators are 4-6 in their last 10 games, but give them another loss. The Avalanche are going to roll.
Give me Colorado. The Preds are terrible, and they're probably tanking for the number 1 pick.
Absolutely, I'd say I agree. I just don't see the Predators coming out with a win
trash.
against this one. We'll now go to our final game, Nashville SC versus New England.
Battle of the bottom feeders. Give me Nashville. I like their color and their stadium. It's pretty cool.
Season opener for MLS getting underway on February 22nd. So, going to start things off on the right way. Give me Nashville to start off 1-0.
Pick the clean sweep.
I'll probably have to pick the clean sweep. I'll say it's going to be Nashville. It's going to be close.
Poor New England in a clean sweep.
They got to figure things out and get off to a good start this season. But it looks like that's all we've got for you today. We thank you for tuning in, and remember to look for all future episodes of Sportsballin on YouTube and Blue Raider TV every week on Tuesday. For Connor Smith and Jace Vincent, I'm Ethan Markham. We'll see you around. Good night.